Hmm? Oh shit, I'm live? Oh shit. Oh shit. Fucking shit. Ugh. Just kidding, I knew. I knew. Just kidding. /S. Sarcasm. Slashy slash. Slash. Fucking slash 'em. What's up, fam? How are you guys? Good to see you, my beautiful humans. Do you play Phasmophobia? I did a few times. I'm not much of a spooky game kind of guy. I get scared pretty easily. And I do start be yelling. Danny McBride is hilarious. Yeah, Danny McBride's very funny. I haven't watched him since like Eastbound and Down. If you remember that show was funny as fuck. Your mother knits socks that smell. Bro. How dare you? David De La Rosa with the first dono of the night. Hello, David. Says, hi, Joe. How are you doing, buddy? I'm doing pretty good. Much better now that y'all's is here. Did I get the Subway story? Like Subway sandwiches? I've been in New York twice myself, but honestly, it was more scary in the airport than the actual city. Oh, yeah. I don't think I've ever been to JFK, I believe, right? I don't think I've ever been to JFK Airport. I remember flying out of Newark, New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey. Newark. That place was pretty creepy looking. How do I feel about being sexy? It's dangerous. It's a very dangerous game. I don't think anybody should play it. I think we should all just be like, just alien grays, you know what I mean? Just walking around with slime all over us and feeling nothing but hive mind-like thoughts and feelings. Sierra with the 2 says, thank you for getting me through the work days. Ha ha ha! You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for the 2. Mental illness is rampant through in NYC. I imagine so. I don't really think it's natural for humans to be that cramped on top of each other, you know what I mean? And then the energy of the area, at least that's how I felt when I was in NYC. The energy of it just all like started to seep onto me. I felt like they had to be, you know, kind of all these people were super defensive about everything, and you know, kind of like, I'm gonna get mine. So like within 3 days I like absorbed that energy, and I was like, I guess that's what I am now. I gotta be defensive and frustrated and angry, and everybody's in my way, you know, any kind of thing. And it was weird. It probably took another 3 days once I got home for that energy to wear off. But I swear, like once I got home, it was just like it lingered. Like, it's just because I'm an empath. It's probably just because I'm an empath, you know? I just absorb energies. Be incognito, but hoodies can be creepy. True. You never watched The Exorcist? I can't I mean, I've definitely seen some of it or caught it in between, but I can't say that I've like, I think I was terrified of it as a kid, and I just like never took the time to watch the whole thing. I doth not recall. It was such a great city. It's a dump now. It's sad. You're a native New Yorker. Yeah, what would you say, or what duration of time, like between what year and what year, do you personally feel that it is not up to your standard anymore? Or like, what do you feel has changed? Hitsubasa with the 2 says, what it do, Joel? What it do? It be doing all sorts of things. You don't even want to know. You don't even know what those things are and all of its capabilities. NYC makes you overthink if the creepypastas are reality. Oh yeah, for sure. That's where they all start. That's where all the inspiration comes from.
Mischievous
Vincent Talley, welcome to the Buttersock Call. You now have access to bonus content. You saw part 3 of The Exorcist. Even oh yeah, there's like multiple parts. Oh yeah, and then there was one I remember seeing like where it took place in like North Africa or something like that. And I just remember some kid getting ripped apart by hyenas late at night, like demon possessed hyenas, and that like fucked me up even when I was younger, or like I think I was in high school by that point, or at least middle school. And it just like seeing that, I was like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking terrifying. Jacob, thanks for the 10, my friend. Thank you. Sorry, Stephanie has not been feeling well today. Her father visited us today. It didn't go well. He still holds a grudge against me for that. Well, with her, I did 4 years ago. Okay. Aren't you guys married? I don't understand. Do I have a partner? I got my little kitty cat, Pradeep. He is my partner in crime. No, it's not too personal. I mean, it's understandable question. Hey, there's Hannah. What's up? And Fry's here. What's poppin'? Dude, I just read... Highlights was stopping a kidnapping and doing CPR on a... We raced some... Did this just happen? Or what are you talking about? Sorry, I'm like trying to keep up with chat. I like have no idea what the hell. Everybody seems to be having their own conversation. I'm just like, I guess I'll just chill here. Caitlin with the 3. Thank you, Caitlin. Did you get the ham for Easter? No, sad news actually. Well, I would have got it either way, but the points that I was supposed to redeem at the grocery store had expired. And I remember at the time being more frustrated that they would expire after being such a loyal patron for so long. That I was unable to get it, but I was just gonna buy it later anyways. But then I was talking to my parents yesterday, and my mom said that my dad had tested positive for COVID, and then my grandmother, totally unrelated, but my grandmother is in the hospital. So she was like, she said, Easter is canceled. In a nice way. I mean, we're obviously going to do it later on and stuff, and everybody's fine. I just want to clarify that. It's not like some crazy thing, but it was, it's unfortunately my grandma. I love her, but, she's near the end of life. She's late 80s, and that's kind of typical. You go through various, like, spells of hospital stays, on your later ages, and she's doing well now. And my dad is doing well as well. But unfortunately, it seems as if, though, the festivities there will have to be put on hold for another time. And the ham will have to wait. David De La Rosa with that 2. Thank you, David says. Joy, I love it when you say bonus content. Boner content. Bonus. Jacob with the 5 says, Joe, I will always be loyal to the Buttersuck cult. I will not join the sex bots. Thank you. Yeah, don't let them entice you. When they come into this chat, they're going to try to lure you off to some nefarious dark web site. Do not give in to their thralls, into their siren calls. They are the mermaids of the chat, trying to lead our poor followers to a cold, icy demise. Had I already bought the ham? No, thankfully, no. We're good. I left that day because I couldn't couldn't redeem the points because they expired, because I was more frustrated, and I was like, well, I was like kind of just hoping to like bring it up casually when I was there to the clerk, but then we're like, oh, it looks like they expire. I was like, what? So what's the hell's the point of like building them up, you know? I kind of hate that. Like if you're gonna do a rewards point system within like, you know, a store and stuff like that, if somebody like comes there over a period of time and saves up a bunch, like just let it add up, you know. Sure, it might add up to like one day after, I don't know, 10 years, like a huge thing of groceries or whatever, but so what? They spent 10 years getting to those points. Lisa with the 10. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, we're all Saks bots here. My voice is giving your ears peace. Buzz, 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 points. Yeah, let's petition. Points. Hashtag points shouldn't expire. Get that going on Twitter. We'll make waves. You're going to New York City tomorrow? Hell yeah. Be careful. Be safe. Have fun. You got your headset, Althea. Let's go. But guys, welcome. Thanks for being here. Yeah, we got about 6 New York City stories ready to bang out for tomorrow. Got a awesome thumbnail. I know you're all excited about that, but it is awesome. From Mr. Robin Mikalsen. And yeah, it's going to be sick nasty. But if you guys could click that like button, share this out to all the beautiful people in the YouTube realm or social media, wherever. And yeah, I'm really sick, man. I had to call in sick for the whole week today. I went to the grocery store and get really dizzy and didn't have anything to eat. I'm sorry. And Spitzy, I hope you feel better. I'm sorry, my friend. What's your sickest burn? Always like your mom goes to college. Oh my God, I haven't heard that in so long. Your mom goes to college. Napoleon. Chick is going to my mom's ass tomorrow. Thank you. We'll meet you there. Jacob with him says, however, Stephanie's father and I were able to fix things in our friendship, so... However, Stephanie's father and were able to fix things in our friendship, so it didn't go well at first. But he was finally able to drop his grudge against me, so all is well between me and him. Okay, it's good to know. I was worried. I was like, you should get Stephanie's dad in the chat. Do you think he would like scary stories or anything like that? Get the whole bowling clan in here, man. I think we could convince him. I think that's how we really squelch this grudge between the two of you. Well, I don't want to ask his name, obviously. But if he does happen to show up, I'd love to say hey. Maribel Silva with the 5 says, I think I need a punch card for all the times I make Joel twerk. Like, I think after the 5th time I get a free twerk free. Yeah, that should be. Those points should add up. You know what's funny is, like, on Twitch and stuff, they do actually have, like, channel points that you can build up for different things, like time spent in the chat or... you know, donations and all those kinds of things. I wish that was on YouTube. There's so much stuff on YouTube that there's so much stuff on YouTube that they need to catch up with on Twitch. I mean, hopefully they do over time. I think they have a whole person like devoted to the live streaming thing now, because it is like it's a whole ass own thing. Fox Talks with the Shoes says, I'm a trucker and your vids make the OTR better. You're welcome, my friend. Thank you for the 2. Be safe out there, and thank you for delivering our goods. It wasn't until recently I realized just how gosh dang important truckers are to like me getting my Amazon package in like 3 seconds. If I had to wait any longer, I would just absolutely not be able to wear whatever silly beanie I purchased. Freaking love your channel You're my number one all-time fave. I listen to you 12 hours a day. Oh, thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Glad to have you here. Welcome, welcome. How old am I? I am 31. I'll be 32 in June. Big B-Day stream coming up. And by that I mean it's going to be the same thing, but I'm just going to be drunk. Drinking drinky drinks. Joshua with the 5 says, can't wait for you to start so I can build these servers for my class. Oh, servers. Interesting. Like physical, are they like just, yeah, what hardware can be considered a server, or is it like more of a software thing? What's up, Stephanie? Has anyone, your parents and siblings live? Oh yeah, it's tough whenever you're sick and you're by yourself, like, because it would be nice to have someone bring you some fucking soup, you know, once in a while when you're sick. Does the nameless astronaut have a name yet? You know, I don't think so. I don't think there is an official terminology. Linz, welcome back. For 4 months, being a mischievous dog. Holy little baby Jesus. I never in my life imagined meeting so many fantastic humans here. Thank you, Joel, for attracting incredible people and for your hard-ass work. Thank you, Linz. You're welcome. I appreciate you guys. You guys are really positive individuals, and I appreciate you playing nice with each other. How much dated Wham for a Minecraft server? Oh my god. Probably trillions and trillions of terabytes. Althea with the 2 says, I'm buying your drinks for me. Oh, I would appreciate that. Should I stick with the old reliable, the peanut butter whiskey? Whiskey. Prickly cats, good to know. Would ever consider getting nipple piercings? You know, only if they were connected by some sort of chain and I could maybe hang some sort of chain. Oh, that would be cool. Instead of wearing a necklace, you could wear, you know, instead of wearing your Jesus piece normally, you could just connect them through your nipple piercings. Easy peasy. Or you could double up. Double the protection against the dark arts. Believes in unicorns with this says, are you streaming on Zombie Jesus Day? You know, I don't know. Let me just say that. I don't know because my family is canceling Easter. My brother has invited me to participate in his familial gatherings for food and stuff like that, so I will be doing that, and it's hard to say how late that's gonna go. But no peanut butter whiskey. How come, Althea? It's like the only thing I can handle without absolutely yarfing. I haven't thrown up yet, so that's kind of sweet. You're sending me enough to get Johnny Walker Blue Label. I want it to taste good though. I don't want every shot I take to be like a gag fest. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, whoa. It has to be, but I guess I'll have to take it with the pickle juice as well. Maybe I can plan this out. I'm the goat. Thank you. Bah. E-Star. Hello, my friends. We got another minute here of chit-chatting. Appreciate you guys being here. Darth Bane with the 5 says, I decided to stop mooching and finally subscribe in 5 years I spent. Happy to be part of the Buttersock cult. Also, June B-Day brothers. Let's go. Geminis, right? We're so wild and unpredictable. Oh my god. Karoo, what's up? How's it going? But thank you for the 5, and yeah, no worries. Appreciate you subscribing. Go get Jameson and pickle juice. Yeah, all of it just sounds so yucky, you know? I am just not an alcohol person. I wish I was like one of those whiskey connoisseurs like Poopy Pie, but ugh, you know, all of it just feels like such poison. That's why I need to like sweeten it with honey sugar, because I'm a fucking insect. Sugar water. Is my brother older? He is, yeah. I am the young one. Since we share the same B-Day month, I'll drink with... Hell yeah, if you guys have a B-Day around that time. Or if you just want to join in, please do. And do so safely. Do I like wine? I don't mind wine, but there's something really weird about wine where I'll have like 1 glass, 2 glasses, and just feel like a type of drunk that I've never felt before, you know? Like orgy drunk, you know what I mean? Like you just, there we go, clothes are coming off. Big deal. Call the police, I don't care. Like, sir, this is a Wendy's. Jacob with the 10 says, Stephanie and I will be celebrating Easter with my sister Rachel, and then we'll see her parents on Easter is going. Wait, so Easter is going to be busy day for study. Oh yeah, that's good. I'm glad. Good to spend it with family and friends and all that good stuff. So I'm happy for you. Thank you for the 10. Appreciate it. And Swook with the 2 says, good evening, lovelies. Hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Swook. What's poppin'? The only alcoholics I like are the fruity cocktails that don't even taste. Yeah, they have to be real sneaky. Yeah, wine turns me German. Hello, everybody. I'm feeling very loose and very strange. This is crazy. Perks? No. Avoid the perks. Those are, unless you're like had surgery. Prescribed by your docky. Do Malibu with blue curacao. Tastes like fruity beach drink. You know, yeah, those are the kind of things that if I took too many of them, I would just like throw up all over my microphone most likely. And based on how out of it I was, I might even do it voluntarily. And perhaps say some naughty words. Alright, yeah, let's switch over to our spooky screen there. Anybody curious about that music? I don't know if you heard it or not. I mean, it was kind of quiet, but it was chillin' to the 6th power on Smooth Sounds. And this track was the last track on that list, called Tray Flip, Off the Radar, featuring APOC, Crisis, and Jupilux. Man, we need to get some better rapper names. What would you guys name yourself if you were a rap star? You woke up in a haymound. Yeah, that would be the worst. I like wake up in a field across the street and just fucking stream is still going for like 24 hours. Just forget about it. Can only drink once a year and I'm saving for a beat. Yeah, same here. I literally only drink once a year and I'd rather have it that way, you know what I mean? Joel the Reader. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh my god. I wonder if I could do that for like, do you think that would be unprofessional for like a voice actor's name? Joel the Reader. I don't know. I'm just fantasizing in my head. My stage name should be Joel Haley Osment. You know, I was thinking about it. They wanted to cast me for a ghost movie. Hey, bro, play the old stuff. This is a cash grab. This is a cash grab. Play the old... the old stuff was better. Joel the Poet. Joel the Poopet. Alright, I gotta lube up the lips before we kick this off. Your rapper name would be Paul. Hello. Alright, up next on the track. Big Booty Bitches featuring Paul. I guess there was Paul Wall. You just gotta add another individual rhyming word to the end. Thanks for saving your life. You are welcome. I saw you fall in that pond, and I had to reach in and save you. 1, that's a great name. 2, drink Crown Royale with butterscotch schnapps. Tastes like a Werther's. I think I might just stick with Old Faithful. Joel, if you ever need help editing your VO demo, let me know. Oh, thank you, Claudius. Yeah, if you have any suggestions for that, just like how to... I mean, because that's my biggest thing. I actually have a meeting with a voice actor just to talk with them about like this Saturday. I'm just gonna ask. I mean, if you guys think that there's any important questions I should ask and that kind of thing, I can write them down because that's the toughest part about like jumping into that industry. I guess is just knowing like, well, what the hell's step one. Obviously I got like the recording studio situation kind of sort of maybe figured out, but obviously it can always get better. But as far as like working professionally, that's something that I kind of need to get to the bottom of. So hopefully this meeting will yield some cool ideas. Did anyone else have that mother goose that you put the tapes into and she'd read them out loud? Her eyes blinked, her beak moved, and so did her head. I think your name should be Mother Goose, Joel. Mother Geese. Or Daddy Goose. That'd be funny. Hello, I am Father Goose. Alright, like I said, we got 6 stories. Enough of my blambling, shambling. We're going to kick this off. For New York. Ask them what impressions are good and which ones you... Yeah. Alright, I'm going to do Gilbert Godfrey. Does this one sound good? I'm the guy from Aladdin. Not very good at it. Jacob with a 5 says, before I met Stephanie, I dated a beautiful woman. Her name was Amanda. I love her, but she had an affair with a... Oh, message deleted. Okay, never mind. Thank you for the 5, Jacob. We're going to read this thing. Shit, I need to bring my mic up a tad. 1 tad. That's marked on the microphone arm. It says how many tads. Back in the late 70s, I was 18 years old, and I was still living with my mom and dad down in Kentucky. I'd always been different, and it was something that myself and my parents had always been aware of, but around the age of 18, I realized why I felt so different to the rest of the people in my small country town. Right around that time, most of my friends were chasing girls and had given up on pretty much everything else to pursue more... Right around that time, most of my friends were chasing girls and had given up on pretty much everything else to pursue her. Right around that time, most of my friends were chasing girls and had given up on pretty much everything else except to pursue more hormonal inclinations. But me, I never had any interest in girls. I always felt more attracted to my male friends, and for the longest time I thought it was just that something was wrong with me. But then the more liberated society became... But then, the more liberated society became, and more people talked about queerness, the more I realized that they were actually talking about me. So instead of living a lie, I decided to face my truth and to share it with those close to me. So, in 1977, I decided to tell my mom, dad, and sister that I was gay. It did not go well. We were a conservative Christian family who lives in the Bible Belt, and not only were my parents outraged that I dared succumb to such sinful desires, but they told me that as long as I wanted to live like that I wasn't welcome in their home. So, what choice did I have other than to pack up and move somewhere that would actually accept me for who I was? That was how I decided on New York City. It took me about a month or 2 to properly orient myself to the gay scene here, but in the end, I started hanging out at a few different places that made me feel more and more at home. For a young gay man, NYC was like a paradise. A paradise. Jacob with the 5 says, before I met Stephanie, I dated a beautiful woman. Her name was Amanda. I loved her, but she broke my heart, and I don't talk about her much. Don't you think that's going to make Stephanie jealous by talking about... I'm sorry. I don't want to interfere with your relationship, obviously, so I will say no further. But thank you for the 5. For a young gay man, New York City was like a paradise back then. Yeah, there were ignorant people, but there are ignorant people everywhere. But in NYC, most people just didn't care, were too busy to care about stuff like that, and I can't tell you how liberating it was. But over the years that followed me moving there, the paradise I'd found became more like a living hell. And to a lot of us, it was like there was some deadly phantom stalking me and my friends, a demon that stalked us, found us, and killed us, one by one. I remember it started with a friend of mine who was named Patsy. Patsy's real name was Patrick, but he felt much more comfortable using his drag name, Patsy, as it made him feel much more like herself, so to speak. Oh, they did the quotes. Okay, I see. They did the quotes. Paradise is your partner's last name? Oh, nice. That's a pretty cool last name, to be honest. It's a Hollywood star's name. Patsy's real name was Patrick, and he felt much more comfortable using his drag name, Patsy, as it made him feel much more like herself, so to speak. Patsy used to join us for Shit, I can already feel my voice screeching. Patsy used to join us for drinks at the Black Rabbit most Friday nights, and occasionally he'd show up in drag to sing in the karaoke shows. Those were some of the most amazing, hilarious nights of my life, and Patsy really knew how to work a crowd. But then this one Friday, Patsy didn't show up, and Patsy always showed up to Friday night drinks. We were all pretty much concerned for him, but it made sense when somebody closer to him than we were mentioned. Sorry, there was missing, I don't know, just the pacing feels weird sometimes, I can't read it. We were all pretty concerned for him, but it made sense when somebody closer to him than we were mentioned that he wasn't feeling himself lately. God damn, I'm sorry. It's like sometimes the sentences are longer and they just confuse my brain as I go. We were all pretty concerned for him, but it made sense when somebody closer to him than we were mentioned that he wasn't feeling like himself lately. There was a pretty nasty cold going around at the time, so we figured that he picked it up and was feeling under the weather. Then, the next Friday, he didn't show up again for Friday night drinks, and he wasn't the only one. A few more of the guys closest to Patsy weren't showing up at their regular haunts, and nobody could hold... A few more of the guys closest to Patsy weren't showing up at their regular haunts, and nobody could get a hold of them to find out what was going on. We eventually found where Patsy lived after talking to a club manager who had given him a part-time job. He had an address for an old copy of his payroll. Jesus fuck, man. He had an address for an old He had an address from his old copy of his payroll. We didn't know exactly what was going on at that time, and some of us actually thought that he might be depressed after a breakup or something, that it was some kind of mental health crisis, and that all Patsy needed was a little love, and he'd be back at his usual self. Let's just leave it all behind and play Hearthstone. See you guys, I gotta get off. My friend wants to play video games. That's what I usually tell to when I used to go to work. I'm like, hey guys, I know I've only been here for 30 minutes so far, and I got another 7.5 hours to go, but I just got a text from my buddy, and he really, really wants to jump into Overwatch. Jacob with the 5 says, it's okay, Joel. I dated Amanda 7 years ago, so Stephanie is okay with me talking about her. Long story short, Amanda had an affair with another man. What, really? What the hell? This Amanda chick obviously doesn't recognize a keeper when she has one in her grasp. You know what I mean? Like, I feel disrespected tangentially. It's ridiculous. Also, I was joking about the video games thing. I'm not getting off. I feel like I have to explain sometimes the jokes, but anyways. We didn't know exactly what was going on at that time, and some of us actually thought that he might be depressed after a breakup or something, that it was some kind of mental health crisis, and that all Patsy needed was a little love, and he'd be back to his usual self. We couldn't have been more wrong. By the time we went to visit Patsy at his apartment, it was about 6 weeks since he first dropped off. Me and a friend of mine went over to his place only to find a moving truck outside. We didn't think anything of it at first, until we got up to Patsy's apartment and saw that the moving guys were in the process of emptying his apartment. His landlord was supervising the whole thing, so we asked what was going on and if he knew where Patsy was. That's when he tells us that Patsy's in the hospital, and that he hadn't paid rent in like 2 months, so he was moving all of his stuff into storage and would be sending Patsy the bill. All he knew was he was in the hospital, and he didn't know which hospital, so we set about calling up almost every hospital in the city just to find him. It took days, but eventually we found the place where Patsy was staying at. When we asked what was wrong with him, the nurse said that she couldn't tell us, but that we were free to visit during visiting hours so we could talk to him. We'd missed the allotted time slot for that day, so me and the friend that had helped me to find Patsy agreed to meet up at Beth Israel the next day so we would go visit Patsy. Fuck, man. I don't know why. It's like sometimes my brain... I'm sorry. It'll work eventually. I speak in riddles, yeah, usually. You're gonna make some intro music for the stream? Are you actually, or are you just joking? We'd missed the allotted time slot for that day, so me and the friend that had helped me find Patsy agreed to meet up at Beth Israel the next day so we could go visit Patsy. But I don't think that we could have ever been ready for what we saw. When we walked into the room, we barely recognized the man we saw. Patsy was always a little plumper than most, probably because of his unapologetic love of pasta due to his Italian heritage. But the man we saw when we walked into that hospital room was little more than a skeleton. Patsy was wasting away in that hospital bed, and he was so weak that he could barely talk. We all just broke down crying without even really saying a word to each other, and I'll never forget how the tears pooled in Patsy's sunken eye sockets before they actually started rolling down his cheeks. We went back almost every day for almost a week, until one day we showed up and the nurse told us that we weren't permitted to visit with him anymore. When we asked why, the nurse told us that Patsy had some kind of infectious disease and that it was too dangerous to sit with him unless we wore proper protective clothing. We insisted on it that we didn't mind taking the risk, and wait, I'm confused. Why didn't they ask him what the hell happened to him? Also, it's hot as fuck in here. 1 second. God, that's the only thing I'm not looking forward to summer is that, like, in summer, all you can do is take clothes off. In winter, you just put them on to stay warm and be like a big old bundled up teddy bear. Okay. Shit. Hey! AKA Neptune, or Aka Neptune, with the 20 says, "Hey man, your videos help me out and definitely get me to just zone out. Been having a lot of troubles with my relationship and this has helped me a lot, so thank you very much for it and your amazing content." Oh, thank you, Neptune, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'm glad you're doing well. Okay, I'm just confused, like, if you, like, I don't get it, like, I feel like it's skipping over something here, like, we went back almost every day for almost a week. Did at any time during that, like, stay in the hospital, like, did they ask why? You know what I mean? I would imagine on your first visit there, you would be like, what the hell's going on, to the doctor or nurse? And, I don't have air conditioning. I don't, no, not in this area, sadly. And if I do have, like, you know, a window unit type situation, it'd be so loud, it'd be nuts. I just feel like they didn't even ask any questions, like, it's just really fucking weird. We went back almost every day for almost a week until one day we showed up and the nurse told us that we weren't permitted to We went back almost every day for almost a week until one day we showed up and the nurse told us that we weren't permitted to visit with him anymore. God, I don't know why. I can't find my, I'm overthinking it. Whatever. We went back almost every day for almost a week until one day we showed up and the nurse... Jacob with a 5. I met Amanda when I was in college. She was the most beautiful woman in the college, but I'm very loyal to Joel. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Jacob. Were you loyal to me back then? That seems like a preemptive loyalty. I mean, that's probably next level loyalty when it's like it's like a prophetic loyalty, and I appreciate that. Believes in unicorns with the 2 says when AIDS first came on, they had no idea at first. Okay, I guess that would make sense, and that's kind of where I imagine this is going. But like, I'm just surprised they didn't mention that there was like a. Did they mention it was a mystery? We walked in the room, we barely saw the man. Patsy was a little plumper. He was wasting away in the hospital, but we all just broke down crying and really saying, without really even saying a word to each other. I'll never forget how the tears in Patsy's sunken down to his cheeks. We went back almost every day for a week. Well, that's what I was like, I don't know, I'm just surprised they didn't say it was like a medical mystery or something like at that point, you know? We went back almost every day for almost a week, until one day we showed up and the nurse told us that we weren't permitted to visit with him anymore. When we asked why, the nurse told us that Patsy had some kind of infectious disease, and that it was too dangerous to sit with him unless we wore proper protective clothing. We insisted on it, that we didn't mind taking the risk, and we'd wear anything they'd asked us to in order to be able to visit him. They made us wear full gowns, gloves, a mask, a hairnet, like full surgeon's clothing just to be in the same room as him. Then one day, we went in to see Patsy, and we were told that he'd passed away in the night. There were lots of us in NYC at the time, much like myself, who had moved there because we didn't have anyone else. We had no family, none that wanted to know us anyway, and it was exactly the same with Patsy. We found out that no one was coming to claim his body or organize a funeral or burial for him, so if we wanted to have any kind of memorial, it was down to us to do it. Of course, we knew it was the right thing to do, and we knew Patsy had enough friends to pack out a church or a memorial hall or something. Only, that's how we found out how bad this whole thing was getting, when we organized a funeral and next to nobody showed up. It wasn't that he wasn't popular. It was a combination of 2 things. The first was that more and more of us were coming down with whatever horrifying disease that had taken Patsy, and the second was that so little was known about it, that people honestly thought that they could just catch it from being in the same room as his dead body. And then there was all the prejudice and bigotry that surrounded what they called grids at this time. Grids. I never heard of that before. Believes in unicorns, who says no idea what it was. Okay, thank you for the 2. Yeah, I just... Mischievous dog. And Hitsubasa with a 5 says, oh, so Joel, that drawing recording I tried to get on my laptop and I can't get it to transfer, so I can't say anything to you. I'm sorry. That's okay. I mean, maybe... Yeah, I don't know, but that's okay. I apologize for technical difficulties are just always so frustrating. But thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. And Joshua with the 2. 1 up, baby. Thank you, Josh. And believes in unicorns. Welcome back to the Buttersock Call for 3 whole months. Says, lol, stupid lag. Yeah. You'd be rubber banding all over the place. In Love You Luvumm. Welcome to the Buttersock Call. You now have access to bonus content. Oh, they probably thought it was pneumonia because the end stage has a special type of pneumonia. Oh yeah, I was gonna say it's like usually related to like secondary infections, but I just figured that like the author would have like addressed that it was like some type of infection because usually, where's your friend at? Oh, they're in the hospital. The first thing you would ask is like, what the hell happened? you know. And then there was all the prejudice and bigotry that surrounded what they called grids at the time. It stood for something like gay-related immuno. It stood for something like gay-related immunodeficiency syndrome or something. Like they still thought it was specific just to gay people, and even regular non-bigoted people just ate that up since it was coming from the scientific community. Over the years that followed, we were almost completely abandoned by everyone who had once supported us in our lifestyle choices. Me and the friend I was close to stopped dating completely since we were eventually told that it was spread through having intimacy. That was a weird relief to us because at least we knew how to avoid catching it by then, and as much as it was awful having to put our dating lives on hold, anything was better than dying in such a horrifying way. Things got better over the years, and I personally took part in a lot of activism to be able to spread the truth about grids until it was finally reclassified with the name it's known as today, AIDS. That felt like a real victory, for people to know the truth about it and how even straight people could catch it if they weren't careful about drug use and safe contraception, all that kind of stuff. Then it wasn't just something that only gay men could get. It wasn't God's punishment, as so many evil bigots had said. We were all in it together, all united in fighting such a terrifying and insidious disease. When the likes of Freddie Mercury died from AIDS, as well as Eazy-E from the NWA rap group, that's when things started to get much better for us. Those were sad, sad deaths, and the gay community was devastated, especially for Freddie. But I remember being left with the impression that a lot of people didn't have to die, and that if they'd only listened to us instead of just dismissing our claims, then a lot more people would have been spared such horrible deaths. It's a time in my life that I'm still haunted by today, a time when it was like an invisible killer was stalking through our tight little community. So many of us had run away from hurt and beatings and... What? So many of us had run away from getting hurt. I guess from hurt. Yeah, getting hurt, I assume, is what they meant. So many of us had run away from being hurt. God damn it. So many of us had run away from getting hurt, beatings, and death, and it was like death had followed us. I don't know why it got to me be that What the fuck is this saying? I don't know why it got to me be that Oh. Okay. I don't know why that it got to be me that survived when so many of my adopted family didn't. I don't think I was doing anything different at the time, and I suppose it just comes down to luck that I was sleeping with certain people and not others. I still feel guilt, a lot of guilt, that people like Patsy, who used to light up the rooms that he was singing in, had to die, while I got to carry on living in the shadow of one of the most terrifying diseases the world has ever known. Your hubby's friend was sick for years, undiagnosed, went to a 4th of July cookout at their house, saw his legs with black spots, told hubby on the way home he had Kaposi sarcoma, and shit, that's... Damn. Yeah, I can't imagine. It'd be terrifying, just like, so it's because it's, yeah, the slow insidiousness of it. Back when I first moved up to New York, the fumes from traffic outside made my asthma coming back with... Back when I first moved up to New York, the fumes from the traffic outside made my asthma coming back with a vengeance. Coming back. Quick question, do you hold a button as you record, or do you start and stop all your streams? So yeah, I have two microphones, one that I just press a button to start, and then if I fuck up I have to like press stop and restart from a little bit back so I can edit it together later. So there's like two different microphones that records into. That'd be funny if I like didn't stop and I just like snapped my fingers to show where the mistakes were. That probably would be more confusing and probably annoying for your ears. Back when I first moved up to New York, the fumes from the traffic outside made my asthma come back with a vengeance. I ended up going to a doctor and he said that I didn't have to worry anymore because he had this top-of-the-line asthma medication that would completely rid me of my symptoms. I was over the moon when he told me that, as I was having a really rough time, like couldn't sleep and stuff because of it. So I got the prescription, hit up a local pharmacy for the pills, then got home and took like 3 of them immediately so I could finally get some decent sleep. I take the pills, take a shower, grab a bite to eat, and then I head to bed and read a book until my lungs untighten and I start to feel sleepy. I remember turning my lamp off before I settled down to go to sleep, and the last thing I did was cuddle my cat and be like, finally, we can get some sleep, don't it? From memory, this would have been maybe 10:30 at night, so it was still relatively early, especially by Brooklyn standards. Then at maybe 1:30 in the morning, I woke up, still with nice clear lungs, but when I opened my eyes, I saw a short, dark shape standing in the middle of my bedroom. I immediately shot up out of my bed, switched on the lamp on my bedside table, and got rather... Is this New York? Or just asthma and drugs? Yeah, I mean, the grammar, the bad grammar is not too often, but I don't know why. I think I drank too much caffeine today, and I just, like, my brain's moving too quick. I immediately shot up out of bed, switched on the lamp on my bedside table, and got ready to either kick or run scream. I immediately shot up out of bed, switched on the lamp on my bedside table, and got ready to either kick whoever's butt or run screaming from the room. But when the light lit up the room, there was absolutely nothing there. It looked like it could have been a kid. It was that short, but then it was also way too bulky to be a kid. It looked like a smaller version of a large, muscular grown man. Needless to say, I was seriously unsettled by what I saw, or what I thought I saw, and the whole thing basically ruined any chance I had at a decent night's sleep, as I was absolutely terrified to see that thing again. I only really fell back asleep as I saw the dawn start to break outside, and then about an hour later I had to be up for work. The next day, I was terrified, talking to my friends in a group chat, but they just thought that it was hilarious, telling me that there's no such things as ghosts and whatnot, and that I must have just imagined the whole thing. When I saw on my grandma's grave that not a word of what I was saying was a lie, they just carried on making fun of me, telling me to get an exorcist and all this nonsense, and that if I was going to make up a ghost story, at least make it spooky. But I wasn't making anything up. I didn't believe in the supernatural or anything like that, but what I experienced had me seriously questioning whether I'd been right to just assume it was all nonsense. Because what else explained what I saw and how quickly it disappeared? When they finally started to believe me, one suggested I'd been experiencing some kind of sleep paralysis. They had a cousin that had gone through a literal nightmare of a time dealing with a condition that made it feel like it was... They had a cousin that had gone through a literal nightmare of a time dealing with a condition that made it feel like there was some kind of demon in the room with them at night, and they couldn't do a single thing to stop it because they couldn't move. Only that didn't make sense because the moment I saw the shape of the thing, I jumped up and turned my light on to see if anything was there, which is right when the thing just seemed to completely disappear. That's when my buddy starts getting seriously concerned for me. I think he finally started to appreciate that I wasn't just making stuff up. After that, he actually starts trying to help me figure it all out, and we go through a ton of different medical conditions and stuff before he finally asked me if I'm on drugs. He meant like actual illegal drugs or whatever, but that's when it hit me. I was on a new medication for my asthma, and the medication was Singular. I grabbed the box, took out the little piece of paper on the inside, then started reading through the side effects. That's how I found out that in some cases, your first few doses can cause waking dreams around your sleeping hours, like brief hallucinations that are basically just dreams bleeding over into reality. It was such a relief knowing I wasn't going crazy, and even more of a relief knowing that nothing remotely supernatural was going on, because I can't even describe how terrifying of a concept that was to me. I'd grown up not believing in anything like that, and that sudden but false realization that spirits, demons, whatever you want to call them, were real. That's a feeling of terror that I don't think I'll ever forget. So just a little warning out. So just a little warning out there. Be careful with Singular, because as much as it did a great job in ridding me of my asthma symptoms, I went right back to using my inhaler. No, it wasn't nearly as effective, and I still had a lot of trouble sleeping for a while until I finally moved to a less air-polluted city. But it was way, way better than suffering from hallucinations, especially scary ones in the middle of the night. Alright, I guess that was less of a New York City and more, or New York City story, and more of a fucking asthma story. Drug medication stuff. I don't know. Sometimes I just search them based on keywords, and this is what I get, so whatevs. Loosely based on New York. Oh. I don't even know what chat's saying. I look at it and it's like more of it is, oh wait, I have a genuine question. For people in relationships, be it married or dating, is it normal to consistently refer to your partner as my husband, wife, etc.? Normally I thought they just said the name. I guess you would just, this is, if you're introducing them to somebody, like, this is my wife, Stephanie, or this is my wife, whatever, you know what I mean? Like if you're, but eventually I think you just say I don't fucking know, dude. The way that Joel and his streams are saving my grades this semester. Nice. Yeah, do you like study with it on, or how do people use this? I know a lot of people say it helps them concentrate, but I find that interesting. I feel like I would get distracted. Yeah, this story smacks. I had narcolepsy with cataplexy, so I have lucid dreams, sleep paralysis, etc. It's not really scary unless you're having scary dream hallucinations. Yeah. It would be creepy initially, like seeing just some sort of shadows shit. Who Joel's celebrity doppelganger personality-wise? Probably just like Wesley Snipes in Blade. More specifically, the sword. For your out to, can you do a New York accent? I guess it depends on where they're from. Because, I don't even know. Brooklyn. I don't fucking know. Honestly, I think there's a lot of variations in there. Oh, shit. Ooh. I'll give you a little variation of My twerk impression. Ooh. Holy shit. LUVUMNM. That's got to be it's a Roman numeral, right? Which Roman numeral is that? Thank you so much for $100 dollarinos. Thank you. Holy shit, big dono. Thank you so much. There's no message attached, but if you do have a message, please do let me know. Oh shit, daddy's push-ups. I forgot about push-ups. How many are we doing this week, or this day, I suppose, this stream? But thank you for the 100. Holy shizzers. Appreciate it. Thank you. And yeah, if you do have a message, just at me. 28 push-ups. Okay. Alright, are you guys going to do it with me? Are you, Oh, LUVAVUM was a Roman city. Oh, okay, interesting. What was that Roman city about? You'll do squat. Oh, Jesus. 28. Let's go. 28 easy ones. Oxy, you better be doing these. Backflips. Avery's gonna do 2,000 of them. Alright. Who's in? You got your push-ups and or squatty potties. Let's get it. Whatever. Let's just go right into it. 28, baby. I'll count them out. Is it hard to hear me down here? Hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, bitch. Let's fucking go. That actually wasn't too bad. It was actually easier than last time with the 27. 28 arm curls. Gotta eat my ice cream bar. Hell yeah. 28 chomps. You did Pilates and you're sore. That's okay. No worries. Next time. Girl push-ups are super fit. Whatever you can do, and you just slowly work your way up. One more every time, and then maybe graduate to the next level. That's our personal training stream for the day. See you guys. He's not even doing the push-ups. If only you knew what I fucking go through. And we're working on ending the positive medicated. Okay. Oxy does bench 500 mother freaking pounds. It's crazy. May with the 2 says, once again here to soothe by your sweet voice. Thank you, May. Appreciate that. This voice is a little bit out of breath right now, but I'll get back to it. Oh my god.
Hey, listen.
Okay. Thank you. Oh shit. Ooh. I'm gonna be double out of breath. Bow. Chicka ba ba ba. Chicka ba ba bow. I just did a full choreographed twerk dance, literally from Nicki Minaj's music video, specifically for LUVUMNE. Thank you for another $100 donation. Holy shit. What is the occasion, my friend? Thank you so much. Once again, if you have something you'd like me to read or say, I would love to read it. Thank you so much. Them cheeks are clapped. Hearing heavy breathing and twerking. Yeah, all in one go. It's all just audible. You just gotta imagine it all in your head. The twerking music needs to be just 10 seconds longer. No, I wouldn't. My My cheeks could not handle it, I don't think. Well, either way, thank you guys so much. Seriously, very much appreciate the support. Yo, Witchy Man with the 5 horny computer gang for life. Gang, baby. Never forget. Thank you, Witchy Man. Rest in peace. Getting them hand points or no points, yeah. Let me get them hand points. You're reading an article on Wild Bill Lovett. Me and my family are going on the mob tours. Nice, interesting. It is kind of funny how we as people are just sort of like obsessed with that type of stuff. Okay.
Hey, listen.
Oh, man, am I tired now? What the fuck? Let's get it. I need to hydrate? I can do that. There's a message. You helped me get through so much shit last year and my mom died. So love your channel. Hope you don't hear from that crazy psycho fan again. #1 fan right here. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I hope not to hear from them, but thank you so much. I really appreciate the support, and I'm sorry to hear about, the past year and all. That's really tough, but I'm glad you're here, and we're just cruising. Awesome community here, so really appreciate you. Thank you. Oxy saved a giant turd just for me. Thank you. You guys are very generous. Can people actually clap their own cheeks with no hands? I think that's crazy. Some people are just born different, you know what I mean? Just blessed. Blessed from the waist down. My name is Aaron. I'm from New Jersey, but I've been living in New York City for the past 17 years, and I think I have a story you might be interested in featuring in one of your videos. So I don't really want to drop this guy's name because I know for a fact that this was a major low point in his life. He definitely isn't a bad guy, just a guy who reached his breaking point one day and just kind of lost it. So that being said, I prefer to keep him anonymous, so I'm just going to call him Dave. Me and Dave were familiar with each other, but not particularly close, enough that I might call... Me and Dave were familiar with each other, but not particularly close. Enough that I might knock on his door, or... Jesus Christ, I cannot read this. Me and Dave were familiar with each other, but not particularly close. Enough that I might, knock on his apartment to borrow a tool or a cup of sugar or whatever, and we'd say hey to each other if we happened to catch each other on the stairs. So this one day when Dave knocked on my door, and he actually seemed kind of angry. And when he accused me of talking too loudly, I just straight up was feeling confused. I hadn't been talking at all, and the only noises were me cooking dinner while I listened to a podcast on my phone. So I told him that, even showed him inside, and was like, "Is this the noise you were hearing?" Obviously it wasn't, as the walls that separated our apartments were pretty thick, something you pay a serious premium. Obviously it wasn't, as the walls that separate our apartments were pretty thick, something you pay a serious premium for in NYC. I knew darn well that it couldn't have been the podcast on my phone. No base to the thing at all, but I still showed him as a demonstration of good faith. He looks all confused too, thanks me, then walks back to his apartment. Comfy pair of slippers, that's funny. Comfy pair of Crocs. Comfy. It's so comfy. He looks all confused too, thanks me, then walks back to his apartment after saying something about it probably being the Oh my god. He looks all confused too, thanks me, then walks back to his apartment after saying something about it probably being the people downstairs. A few days later, same thing happens, only Dave is seriously angry, not just a little peeved. He then accuses me of talking way too loud, and not only that, but talking about him behind his back. saying all this shady stuff about him. It sounded like he was on the phone to another person, too. Again, I told him no, that I hadn't been talking about him, and I thought that he was an okay dude, and that even if I was talking about him, it wouldn't be negative. He seemed satisfied enough with this, but just as he heads off to his apartment, grumbling about terrible neighbors, I ask if I can come over to his apartment to see if I can hear where the talking is coming from. He says sure, and I walk over, fully expecting to help him solve the mystery of the loud neighbors. But then, when I walk into the TV room in his apartment, it's quiet as the grave. Like you could have seriously heard a mouse fart in there. I then asked him the dreaded question, if he could still hear the people talking, and he just turns and looks at me to say, "You can't hear that?" He then puts an ear right up to the wall connecting to my apartment, nods and says, "I can still hear it, strongest from my wall. It has those... oh my god. I can still hear it, strongest from this wall. It has to be those downstairs neighbors." I already told them one by one, and they're... oh, fuck. I see. My bad. I already told them one by one, and they're taking me for a complete... I can still hear it, strongest from the wall. It has to be those downstairs... Now I'm choking on spit. Sweet. Fucking Jesus Christ. I can still hear it coming from the wall. It has to be those downstairs neighbors. You know, I already told them one by one, and they're still taking me for a complete idiot. As you can probably guess, I put my ear to the wall and heard absolutely nothing. And that's about the point that I realized something was horribly wrong with Dave's...
Hey, listen.
Mega with the 5 says, I randomly spoke at a university and I mentioned you're my fave channel trying to help Daddy Space get to 1 million. Okay, thank you. That's cool. That's cool you did a speaking thing. That's awesome. Appreciate the shout out too. Thank you. And that's about the point that I realized that something was going horribly wrong with Dave's mental health. I tried to suggest that to him in the most delicate way possible, in a way that would seem both respectful and concerned, but good God if he didn't just totally explode on me. You think I'm crazy? Well, buddy, get the F out of my apartment, gaslighting... I'm just gonna read it. I can't, it's like swear words, fucking awkward, saying mother effer and shit. But good God if he didn't just totally explode on me, saying, you think I'm crazy? Well, F you, buddy. Get the F out of my apartment, you gaslighting mother effer. Quote unquote. I legitimately thought that he was about to knock my teeth out as I edged back towards the door. He was so angry that by the time I was out in the hallway, his eyes were bulging, and there was froth literally coming from his mouth. I mean, he looked like he was about to blow a gasket or something. After he slammed the door in my face, I walked back to my apartment and started Googling what to do if your neighbor is having a mental breakdown. It turns out you can get like a crisis team. I'm having a fucking mental breakdown. I just can't fucking read this shit. Carlos with the 5 says, I love you guys, gals, and my non-binary pals so much. Oh, thank you. We love you too. Los Barachos with the 5 says, what up, Joel? And B-Cult is the Jacob, Stephanie, and Womb Baby Chronicles. Oh, jeez. I do believe. I think everybody's... yeah, I don't know. Gaslighting speedrun. Turns out you can get a crisis team to come out to visit people if they're showing signs or hurting. Turns out you can get, I guess, a crisis team to come out to visit people if they're showing signs of hurting themselves or others. But that seemed like the nuclear option at that point. Like I didn't want to have the men in white coats show up for the guy, and that seemed like such an extreme solution to something that might pass within a day or two if he just had some time to relax or whatever. It took less than 48 hours for the whole thing to blow up, and when it did, it was bad. It was the middle of the night when I woke up to the front door of my apartment getting pounded on, and before I could even ask what was going... Oh shit! Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. LUVUMNM. With another big $50 donation. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate that. Goodness graciosas. Is saying that his name does not represent an ancient Roman city. I don't think so, because it's LUVUMNM. Well, let's see. What is, I mean, I believe, is the U a Roman numeral? Let's see. Roman numeral. Wait, yeah, right? Wait, let's just look up what Roman numerals. Roman numerals. I wrote numerals. That's pretty cool. Okay, we got the chart. So we got an L. Oh, wait, is there a U? It doesn't appear that there's a U in the Roman numerals system. Unless it's the C on its side or something like that. Huh. But what would the L, U... Unless it's like... L is 50, right? Yeah, L is 50. L, U, M. Is M? I thought M was... Oh, yeah, M's 1,000. So 50,000... What's the other one? Oh, wait, V. I forgot about V. Shit. Isn't there a V? Yeah, V's 5. So 55,000... Sorry, I have to go back and forth. 55,000 MNM. Oh, yeah, so 55,000 M. Is there an N? Oh, yeah, I don't think there's an N. Maybe I'm just, like, completely overthinking this. It's not that deep, bro. You're a Roman numeral export? Yeah, what's the sitch? I guess I could just ask them what their name means. But either way, thank you for the... Seriously, huge support. Thank you. Yeah, maybe they just love the letter M. That's totally true. Oh, Solo Rolo said it stands for Love You Eminem. Oh, okay. I'm an idiot. I'm like trying to get like deep and like do the Da Vinci Code in this place, and it's literally just like they just love candy, you know, or the kid, or yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry. My bad, I missed it. Because a lot of people are on like a delay on the stream, so I don't see their stuff. Yeah, the U is a skinwalker, most likely. Okay. It was the middle of the night when I woke up. Oh, yeah. Here we are. But anyways, thank you again. We shall continue onward. It was the middle of the night when I woke up to the front door of my apartment getting pounded on, and before I can even ask what was going on, I hear Dave's voice like, "Open the door, you piece of trash. I told you what would happen if you talked to me." Fucking shit. "Open the door, you piece of trash. I told you what would happen if you talked about me again. Well, now you're dead." And he's screaming this. He hadn't told me anything. We literally hadn't spoken since the day he threw me out of his apartment. Whatever little interaction he'd had had either been with someone else or it had occurred entirely inside his head. I remember rushing back to my laptop, bringing up that NYC Crisis Emergency Service website, and then feeling my stomach drop as I saw they only took calls between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. I knew if I actually called the cops, it'd probably turn out really, really bad. If they showed up and Dave rushed them, he might end up getting shot. Even getting tased and beaten would be bad enough, and I'd feel terrible about that. But then, as I looked over at my apartment door, hearing Dave screaming about how he was going to kill me while the door was literally shaking on its hinges, I realized I didn't really have any other choice. I tried one time to reason with him, told him I called 911 and if he didn't stop hammering on my door like he was, but he literally screamed back at me, "Call them. It's you who'll take away in cuffs, you mother effer." and I swear to God, his voice sounded different. He was so detached from reality by that point that he legitimately thought that he could get me arrested for something. So when I told him I was on the phone to 911 asking for any kind of mental health assistance, he went right back to his apartment and called them himself. I know that because about 15 minutes into the call, the operator named him first and second name and told their dispatch center had just received a complaint against me, coming from a guy that sounded completely out of control. They sent the cops out that night, but Dave somehow managed to act normal enough for them to leave without arresting him for anything. They also knocked on my apartment too, though, which is how I gave them the lowdown on everything that had been happening. He didn't get any serious help until later that day, when the mental health crisis team called. He didn't get any serious help until later that day when the mental health team knocked over to talk to him about his behavior. I swear to God, those people are a literal godsend, and I have no idea how they did it, but they managed to just convince him into. Oh my God. Such an effing dope community of people, so feel free to continue sharing your amazing perspectives together with us anytime, not just. Yeah, wait, what is that? I swear to God, those people are a literal godsend, and I have no idea how they did it, but they managed to just convince him into coming with them to get checked into somewhere for a few days so he could get some medication. They left his apartment door open when they were talking to him, and I was leaning my head out into the hallway to listen in on what was going on. I only have a faint idea of what was said, but as they were leaving, Dave was in tears. I told him I was sorry for having to call the cops, but that I needed to get him some help, and he was just crying like a baby, saying, "I know, dude. I'm sorry too." I just shut my apartment door when they were gone, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't shed a tear too. It was just an awful thing seeing someone all broken down like that. I didn't go visit him in the hospital, and I didn't think it was my place to do something like that. Besides, he had an ex-wife and a kid who still cared about him enough to go visit, as well as a few brothers and sisters who brought him food and other home comforts. I only found out what actually happened when he came back a month later, and I went over to check on him to see if he was okay. Turns out he'd had a friend pass from cancer at home, and he'd been one of the 2 people going over to make sure that he was as comfortable as possible. Guy couldn't afford the hospital bills, as he had no savings or insurance, so this 40-something dude just had to lie in bed at home, racked with pain until his body finally just gave up and died. Dave and this other caregiver had been there at the time, and he said that he couldn't sleep for days afterwards. Not long after that, he started hearing voices in the walls, and well, the rest you guys know already. I suppose I want to make clear that this isn't just a scary thing that happened to me. There's kind of a lesson to it too. If you know of someone whose mental health appears to be suffering in some way, like seriously on a steep descent, then do not hesitate in contacting someone. I should have called that crisis team the moment it became clear that Dave was hearing things that weren't really there, but I hesitated. And I should have called that crisis team the moment it became clear that Dave was hearing things that weren't really there, but I hesitated, and that could have been a fatal mistake. Either Dave could have hurt himself, or he could have hurt me or one of our neighbors, and because I was one of the few people to notice what was going on, I think I've had the... What the fuck? I think I'd have had to shoulder... Okay. I think I'd have had to shoulder some of the blame for anything that occurred. I'd like to live in a world where we all take care of each other a little more, and it's not just physical health that's important. Anyways, thanks for reading, and I hope it wasn't too much of a bummer towards the end. I just wanted people to understand that Dave wasn't a bad guy at all. He'd just gone through a traumatic experience that I honestly think would drive most people crazy. I just hope people can learn from this indirectly so that if someone in their lives needs help, they can be the person that gets them the assistance they need before it's too late. Okay, so what are we on? Story numero something now. That was about Dave. Yeah, it's really sad. All right. Let's see. You said you spawn where you shave. Would I ever do a face reveal? I don't think so. I don't really want to do that. I'd rather just I don't know. I'd rather just my value be based around like I'd rather just it be based, around the personality on the streams and stuff, and then just like the quality of the content or whatever. So, I mean, I don't know, and it's just for privacy concerns as well. You know what I mean? Because people are insane, very clearly. So, you know what I mean? I'm actually just a cat, so I don't want to freak you guys out. Yeah. Big toe reveal, no one listens. No one listens to me. Address reveal, docs reveal. You're gonna do me in like Dream. I don't know, the whole doxing thing, it's so fucked up. Like, what the hell's wrong with people? It's scary shit. GPS coordinates. Do you have to hide your YouTube life from other personal? No, I mean, most people I know that I do it. You know what I mean? Hand reveal. Yeah, I don't really care enough about myself to reveal a strand of fucking hair. I'm not crazy. My mother had me test. Oh, good. Big puppet reveal. Hey, Jacob with the 5 says, I almost got engaged to my ex-girlfriend Amanda, but as I said earlier, she wasn't the woman for me to marry. That goes to my wife. So, well, I'm glad. It honestly sounds like you and Stephanie are soulmates. Do you believe in fate? Because I feel like I do. What is your favorite day of the week? Mine's Friday. Yeah, Friday's pretty sweet. I like the stream days. These are nice days. But I also like the days that I release videos because it's a little bit more chill and I can get other work done as well. Jacob, I already read that one. Sorry. Wait, or did I already read that one? I don't even know. Should make Joel a Muppet he can use. Yeah, that'd be sweet on stage. I'd have to. Yeah, we'll have to tell the. You can't be doxxed if you believe in the Constitution. Easy peasy. Yeah, it adds to the mystery too, and I think that's part of it too. Is like people, you got to let people's minds wander. You know what I mean? If you just like throw all your cards on the table, all of a sudden, you know, they can't have fate, or they can't have creativity. What was it? Fate? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Just a bunch of nonsense words coming out of my mouth. Who's the weirdo asked for a hair reveal? Nah, it's no weirdo here. No, this is a no weirdo zone. So obviously there certainly wouldn't be any. Oh, Jacob, thank you for the 5 again. Says Joel, I will always be loyal to you in the Buttersock cult, and if Joel ever becomes the Buttersock cult president, I would be his vice president. Do you think that I have what it takes to become the Buttersock cult president by chance? You know, I know I started the cult, but I mean, at the same time, I certainly wouldn't want this to be a dictatorship by any means. I want to be duly elected as its leader. Now, that's the thing, Jacob. You also have the opportunity, potentially, or anybody here, really. This goes out to everybody. You guys all have the opportunity to become president of the Buttersock cult. So I feel like maybe next time we could hold an election, or maybe we could hold an election this stream. I just need to know who's running and who's. I mean, it sounds like I already have my VP, but we need to know if maybe the VP wants to run for president. Maybe somebody else here wants to run for president. I don't want to go uncontested. That wouldn't be very democratic of me. You guys have to nominate people. Pradeep as Prez, he's walking out of the room right now with his tail up, showing off his butt. I don't know if he's presidential material, to be honest with you. He's got a dark history. He's going to get slandered in the media. Pedro, yeah, vote for Pedro. I have to be the captain of the Buttersock. The Buttersock football team. There's president and then there's the football team. I have to know, like, I have to know what kind of responsibilities the president is supposed to have, because if Pradeep takes over, I have to know how to, like, help him out. I don't know if he can handle everything by himself. Joel, if a cat can be a mayor of a town, Pradeep can be president. You know, that's a fair assumption. Micah boy, oh shug, that me. What's poppin'? 4 kinds of hyenas in Africa? That's crazy. I did not know that. That's awesome. I know there's only one type of hyena. No, I think there's 2 types of hyenas in Hearthstone. So I go to this. Whoops. So I go to this comedy club in NYC called The Stand, and a few years back something happened that was literally anything but funny. This one week, these 2 comedians had a roast battle, which is basically just 2 guys saying a bunch of mean but funny stuff about each other in front of the audience. And generally, whoever makes the audience laugh the most wins a round, and Then it's whoever has the most points out of 5 rounds is the winner. This one guy wins by definitely a mile, and the other guy is joking about how he's going to get him back, stuff like that, how they should have a rematch the next week. The club actually books it, and since it was such a good roast battle, pretty much the exact same audience and more show up for the show the following week. The way the club is set up, there's no backstage or whatever, so the comedians just sit at the bar in a little closed-off area until they're ready to do their sets, and then they literally have to walk through the crowd to get to the stage. So it looked like the guy who lost the roast battle hadn't showed up, and when this gets announced, everyone is groaning, disappointed that they weren't going to see the rematch, so instead, the winner gets invited up just to do a normal set. Then, as he's walking to the stage, some guy who had been sitting in the audience in a hoodie stands up real fast, pulls a gun from his pants, and just fires a shot at the guy, who then hits the floor hard. People freaked out. They started running for the exits, screaming and crying. Some people tackle the shooter whilst others run to see if the comedian's okay. And then as I look around, because I'm in the process of running myself, I see the comedian suddenly up on his feet, and he just looks like sorry is the only way I can describe it. Is the only way I can think to describe it. Then the shooter guy in the hoodie has already pulled his hood down, and it's the dude who lost the roast battle. Basically, they'd come up with an idea to fake a shooting to make it look like the loser wanted some serious revenge. Only I can't think of a dumber prank to pull in a packed comedy club like that. I mean, it was like they... Wait, what the fuck? Then I look around... Oh. Okay, I guess it's just a prank, bro. Then the shooter, the guy in the hoodie, has already pulled his hood down, and it's the dude who lost the roast battle. Basically, they'd come up with an idea to fake a shooting to make it look like the loser wanted some serious revenge. Only I can't think of a dumber prank to pull in a packed comedy club like that. I mean, it was like shouting fire in a crowded theater thing, you know? People could have actually died from people getting crushed, and I think we're actually lucky. That it didn't go down like that. The comedian had to rush onto the stage and get on the mic to say stuff like that it was a prank, people. Everyone calm down. It's just a prank. It's not a real gun. The guy had used a fake, but was some kind of firecracker to make the noise and all that stuff. I mean, I'm not 100% sure how he did it, but it was convincing enough to scare the life out of almost everyone in the club. Both people were banned from performing there, and I think the fake shooter actually got a visit from the cops afterward for inciting a panic or something of that nature. It wasn't funny at all, obviously. It was one of the scariest things I've ever been a part of. Lyndon Bassett Johnson. I saw a Basset today a Basset Hound, when I was on a walk. It was very cute. It was an 8-year-old Basset Hound. It was, even though it was a girl, it looked like the sheriff of the town. Which, hey, you know, might well have been. The light at the end of the tunnel was New York, true. Sheriff Bassett. Just a prank, bro. We're all president. We're all equally presidents. Schick has a Basset Hound. What's its name? The prank. Oh, wait. Okay. Hey, Joel. Found your channel a few weeks back, and I have a story for you. I used to live in this apartment building in Queens, New York City, and this one time, some nice lady invited us to an apartment warming when she moved into our building. It was pretty cool. It was nice to meet some of the people in my building that I'd never spoken to in all the years I'd been there, and it was only a handful of people with some bottles of wine, so it wasn't too crazy. But then at one point, right when everyone is talking, we just hear this scream that sounded like it came from down this lady's hallway near her bathroom. Me and this other guy went to investigate, thinking someone from the party had gotten hurt or something, but then realized that not only were the bathroom and bedroom empty, but no one from the party was actually missing. We're just kind of like, so if it wasn't one of us, who screamed? It was way too loud and clear to have come from another apartment, but there was no one there when we went to look, which was instantly after we'd heard it. It totally killed the mood of the party, and we all left not long after, with the lady who just moved in being kind of scared to be alone. I would be too. She moved a little while after too, and the apartment had stayed empty ever since. I'm not saying that I live in an apartment. Wait. Whoops. Oh. I'm not saying that I live in a haunted apartment building or anything like that. I'm not a person who believes in the ghosts or ghoulies or anything, but something bad definitely happened in that apartment. But something bad definitely happened in that apartment that night. I just don't know what. Alright, well, you know, we're kind of banging through these pretty fast. Yeah, we just have one more, and I believe it's a true crime one. It's definitely longer. It's about the son of Sam. I feel like I've talked about the son of Sam before, but I can't quite remember. I think in Kingsburg they used to have a group do a waddle down Main Street with all their bastards. Oh, that's cute. Where's Kingsburg? Please read an extra if you can. Well, we do have the son of Sam killer, I believe. True crime. Yeah, the son of Sam. Got to your fave place in Portland, getting a steak dinner because I deserve it after a long day of BS. Heck yeah. How do you like your steaks? Where's the child? He is... Oh, I think he went upstairs earlier. Jacob, with the two, says, instead of a president, we can have a council. This is true.
Hey, listen.
It would be the Council of 9. Only 9 would be welcome. It would be very secretive, and we would hatch all sorts of clandestine plans for the future. And we would have to summon something while we were there just to make sure that we got it all right. Ashley with the 5 says, sometimes you need $250. Sometimes you do be needing that, yeah. And sometimes someone be donating a shit ton, and I really appreciate it. But thank you for the 5 also, Ashley. Thank you. You get an Aussie named Dutch. Medium rare. Yeah, you really can't go wrong with medium rare. It seems to be the optimal. Yes, the Council of Doom. Meanwhile, at the Council of Bowling, did you know that there are plenty of places in New York City that had guys from the Mafia go there? I would imagine so. I want the seat on the council that creates scandals. Oh yeah, there's gonna be a lot of them. We got a lot coming up. We got them planned out, pre-planned. You guys going on spring break? I think spring break's over for most people. What up, Gabby? What up, Celia? The Joel Illuminati. There you go. Oh my god, that's perfect. Hey, don't say mean stuff about Penny. Guys, if there's one rule in this chat that absolutely must be followed, as decreed by the council, also there's Pradeep smacking his face into stuff, is that you can't talk shit on other people's pets. That's like penalty by lashing, but like not even just a wet noodle. Kitty cat, what are you doing? Meow. He just like gently opened his mouth, like, yeah. You couldn't hear what he said, but he said, yeah. You're a baby. Can you believe that people only like their cats because of the infectious disease that exists in cat poop that parasitically enters their brain? It has nothing to do with cats being cute or nice or cuddly or soft or anything of that nature. It's all because of a parasite. That's what Bill Nye told me. You did your rosemary oil tonight trying to get that healthy long hair. So far my hair is about 22 inches and it's gotten super thick. That's cool. 22 inches, holy shiz. You can turn it into a cape. Oh, that'd be sick. You should make it into a cape. Like put like something down at your shoulders and makes it look like it's separate, or like kind of splays out at the cape level. If cats can talk, how do you think Pradeep would sound like? He'd say, "What up? What's going on? It's Pradeep. I'm ready for my wet food. Wake your ass up. We got shit to do today. I gotta..." Oh, you know what? He's been really going after... I did tell you about he caught a mouse. But I swear to God, he just like... even when I have music going, he like hears shit in the walls that just like... nobody else can hear. Rats in the walls. Like he's just got this like really acute hearing. And I really hope that he gets the rats at some point. Before the rats get me. Okay. Alright, get out of here. Daddy's got stories to read. About murderers. Working on getting them gains. My current personal best is 820 mile on the treadmill. Nice. Hell yeah. Keep, just, you know, I don't even know. I guess the best way to do it is like, what is it? To look at your pace and then up it by a little bit every day or every time you're on there. Okay. During the summer of 1977, New York City experienced the most intense heat waves of its long and fabled history. Temperatures peaked on July 21st at a blistering 104 degrees, and the sweltering temperatures became ingrained on the city's collective psyche. But for many, the heat isn't the only thing they remember about the summer of '77, because that same year, the streets of the Big Apple were stalked by one of the most deranged and merciless killers the city has ever known. The murders this person committed were wrapped up in a parcel of mental illness, depravity, and devil worship, and the name he gave himself was one that would strike fear into the hearts of New Yorkers for a generation. That name was Son of Sam. A year earlier, in the early hours of July 29th, 18-year-old Donna Loria, okay. You have rats? I don't think I have rats, but there was a field mouse that he killed that got in. And I believe that there may or may not be like chipmunks or a squirrel or some shit that is in my, you know, in the nether, in the in-between of the house. Some sort of dimension. Let me look up how to say Pelham. Oh, fuck. Pelham. Pelham. Alright, that's how you say it. Cool. Can y'all give me some motivation to hit the gym later? I'm nervous to start going. I'd rather work out at home, but I want to use the equipment. Yeah, for sure. Just, nobody really gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm there, I sometimes think like, oh, so-and-so. I mean, you think it so quickly, it's like a subconscious thought of like, oh, they probably think I'm silly or this and that or blah. But like, think about how you feel towards other people. Like sometimes you see somebody do something ridiculous, but like most of the time within like literally 3 seconds, you're just like, oh, I don't give a shit anymore. I only care about myself. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, people only really care about themselves. So just go there and only care about yourself and do you, and I don't know, just do your thing. And yeah, it'll be worth it. It'll be like feel good to have worked your ass off, and you just keep doing that until forever. What up, Chris? A year earlier, in the early hours of July 29th, 18-year-old Donna Loria and her 19-year-old friend Jody Valenti were sitting in Valenti's Oldsmobile in the Pelham Bay area of the Bronx. They had each spent the night at New Rochelle's Peach Trees, a popular disco venue in the area, and were engaged in a playful discussion regarding some boys that had spoken to that evening. It's believed that they were parked just outside Donna Pelham's Bay home. Pelham Bay. It's believed that they were parked just outside Donna's Pelham Bay home, and when the conversation was over, Donna opened up the passenger side door with the intention of climbing out of the car. Yet as she did so, she was suddenly startled when she spotted a man who appeared to be approaching the car at a rapid pace. According to Jody Valenti, Donna found this sudden intrusion to be very irritating and said aloud, "What is this?" Those proved to be her final words. I probably shouldn't say it as like dialogue. According to Jody Valenti, Donna found this sudden intrusion to be very irritating and said aloud, "Now what is this?" Those proved to be her final words, and almost as soon as she spoke, the strange man produced a pistol from a brown paper bag, aimed it with both hands, and opened fire. The first bullet ripped through Donna's skull, killing her instantly, while the second struck Jody in her left thigh. Then just as suddenly as he had appeared, the gunman turned and disappeared. Thankfully, Jody Valenti survived the gunshot wound and later described her friend's killer to investigating homicide detectives. She told them that he was a white male in his early 30s who appeared to be around 5'8" and 200 pounds, with dark curly hair. Frighteningly, this description was echoed by Donna Loria's father, who told police that he had spotted a man sitting in a yellow compact car that was parked near to his home on the very same night his daughter was shot. The Loria's neighbors also confirmed a similar-looking vehicle had been cruising the neighborhood that night, as if the driver was searching for a particular person. 3 months later, 20-year-old Carl Denaro and his 18-year-old girlfriend Rosemary Keenan were sitting in their car in the Queens neighborhood of Flushing when one of the windows suddenly exploded inward. As they sped away, the couple didn't even realize that someone had been shooting at them, despite the fact that Carl was bleeding from a bullet wound to his head. He later said that he believed it had been caused by flying glass and was stunned when he realized that if the bullet had traveled just a few inches to the left, his brain might have been blown out. I used to be very shy and scared of going to the gym until I started going with a friend. It helped a lot. Oh yeah, it definitely does. Having someone there to sort of, motivate you. told the police that he began. Wait, where was I? Oh. He later said he believed it had been caused by flying glass and was stunned when he realized that if the bullet had traveled just a few inches to the left, his brains might have been blown out. Just a month after that, teenagers Donna DeMasi and Joanna Lamino were walking home from a midnight movie showing when a man in military-style fatigues approached them. They later told police that he began to ask them directions in a high-pitched voice, yet suddenly stopped talking as he produced a revolver and opened fire. Each girl was shot once before their attacker fled the scene, and neighbors later said that they witnessed a blond man running away from the scene of the shooting with a revolver in his left hand. Miraculously, both girls survived the shooting, but Joanne Lamino was left paralyzed as a result of ballistic damage to her spine. 2 more shootings occurred in January and March of 1977, with each resulting in a single fatality, and the string of attack had left the panic-stricken citizenry of New York City demanding answers. This resulting in an NYPD press conference being held on March 10th of 1977, where it was officially announced that the same .44 Bulldog revolver had been used in each of the shootings. To their infinite horror, New Yorkers learned that a serial killer was stalking the streets of their beloved city, but they had no idea how of the terrifying sequence of events that... Wait, what? What is it? To their infinite horror, New Yorkers learned that a serial killer had been stalking the streets of the beloved city, but they had no idea how of the terrifying... What is it? But they had no idea how... They missed a word. How blank of the terrifying sequence of events that were about to unfold. How crazy of the terrifying. Maybe no idea the intensity of the terrifying. Would say the intensity. I don't know. To their infinite horror, New Yorkers learned that a serial killer was stalking the streets of their beloved city, but they had no idea the intensity of the terrifying sequence of events that were about to unfold. Just after 3 a.m. on April 17th, college-age couple Valentina Seriani and Alexander Esau were sitting in their car on the Hutchinson River Parkway service road in the... God, it's like 15 words combined into one. Valentina Seriani and Alexander Esau sitting in their car on the Hutchinson River Parkway service road in the Bronx. Just after 3 a.m. on April 17th, college-age couple Valentina Seriani and Alexander Esau were sitting in their car on the Hutchinson River Parkway service road in the Bronx. They were just a few blocks... They were just a few blocks away from the Loria Valenti shooting where... God fucking damn it. They were just a few blocks away from the Loria Valenti shooting where 4 bullets ripped through the chassis. Fuck. They were just a few blocks away from the Loria Valenti shooting when 4 bullets ripped through the frame of the vehicle. Both were shot in the head, and tragically, both would lose their lives as a result of the shooting. New Yorkers were horrified, but not nearly as horrified as they would be when they learned of the handwritten letter that was found near the victims' bodies. It was written mostly in black capitals and was addressed to NYPD Captain Joseph Borelli, and despite attempts to keep the letter's contents a secret, a number of extracts were subsequently leaked to reporters. Some of it read as follows, and some listeners may find it to be extremely disturbing. I keep hearing like something. It sounds like purring, but I don't think it's purring. Is it in the music? It sounds like a fucking purr. I don't think it's Pradeep. What the fuck? It is Pradeep. Where the fuck is he? 1 second. He's purring like super fucking loud over on this blanket. I think he's having sex with the blanket, but basically it's this like super soft like black blanket that he like bites on and like makes biscuits into. But I also think it's his girlfriend because he seems to really like it. Will I read your obituary? No, I will not, because you're never gonna die. Can I ask why some users have the huge smiley face next to their name? That's cool. I think it's based around the duration of time that they have been members of the channel, which is like when you click that join button. The blanket humper, yeah, he loves. It's been his only means, his only outlet for quite some time. Alright, both were shot in the head. Oh, okay. It was written mostly in black capitals and was addressed to the NYPD captain Joseph Borelli, and despite attempts to keep the letter's contents a secret, a number of extracts were subsequently leaked to reporters. Is it extracts? Is that something you would say in regards to writing? Extracts? Maybe excerpts? A number of excerpts were subsequently leaked to reporters. Some of it reads as follows, and some of it read as follows. Okay. Some of it read as follows, and some listeners may find it to be extremely disturbing. I am the son of Sam, and I am a monster. Sam loves to drink blood. Go out and kill, commands Father Sam. Behind our house some rest, mostly young, their blood drained, just bones now. I am on a different wavelength than everyone else, programmed to kill, and to stop me, you must kill me. I am the monster. I am Beelzebub. I love to hunt. I live for the hunt, prowling the streets looking for fair game, tasty meat. Let me haunt you with these words. I'll be back. I'll be back. Bang, bang, bang. Yours in murder, Mr. Monster. Media outlets consulted scores of psychologists who noted that the killer seemed to gain a great deal of gratification from eluding law enforcement. Police then released a psychological profile of their suspect, who was described as most probably suffering from an intense form of paranoid schizophrenia, which in turn manifested itself in the belief that they were a victim of demonic possession. Just over a month after the handwritten letters were discovered next to the bodies of Alexander Esau and Valentina Suriani, Daily News columnist Jimmy Breslin received a handwritten letter from someone who claimed to be the son of Sam. On the envelope, neatly hand-printed in 4 precisely centered letters, were the words, blood and family, darkness and death, absolute depravity, 44. Some of the letter reads as follows. Hello from the gutters of NYC, which are filled with dog manure, vomit, stale wine, urine, and blood. Hello from the sewers of NYC, which swallow up these delicacies when they are washed away by the sweeper trucks. Hello from the cracks in the sidewalks of NYC, and from the ants that dwell in these cracks and feed in the dried blood of the dead that has settled into the cracks. The killer then addressed Jimmy Breslin himself with the line, JB, I'm just dropping you a line to let you know that I appreciate your interest in those recent and horrendous 44 killings, but you can forget about me if you like, because I don't care for publicity. However, you must not forget Donna Loria. She was a very sweet girl, but Sam's a thirsty lad, and he won't let me stop killing until he gets his fill of blood. I am like a spirit roaming the night, thirsty, hungry, seldom stopping to rest, anxious to please Sam. The letter's author signed it simply, Son of Sam, and underneath the sign-off was a series of several symbols. The author also included the moniker, the Wicked King Wicker, which furthered law enforcement's furthered. Solo Rolo, negative energy, you get that shit out of here. Get that negative energy out of here. We don't want it. We want pause and positive energy. Pause energy. Pazenergy, as it's known in the scientific community. Emotional damage. As a result, the NYPD arranged a private screening of the 1973 occult horror movie The Wicker Man and encouraged its homicide detectives to wait, oh, I'm a dummy. My mistake. The letter's author signed it simply Son of Sam, and underneath the sign-off was a series of several symbols. The author also included the moniker the Wicked King Wicker, which furthered law enforcement's belief that the killer had a fascination with the occult. As a result, the NYPD arranged a private screening of the 1973 occult horror movie The Wicker Man and encouraged its homicide detectives to it's always one word! One fucking word! As a result, the NYPD arranged a private screening of the 1973 occult horror movie The Wicker Man and encouraged its homicide detectives to attend. A week later, the New York Daily News published the letter and Jimmy Breslin personally urged the killer to surrender himself. The edition of the paper which included the latter article became the highest-selling edition in the Daily News history, with over 1 million copies being sold all over the tri-state area. What had once been a panic among New Yorkers turned into a frenzy, and some took certain steps in order to avoid becoming victims themselves. It was noted that all the shooting victims to date had long, dark hair, and in response, thousands of New York females cut their hair short and applied brightly colored dyes, with some even purchasing blonde wigs in the hopes of avoiding the killer's attention. The demand was so great that there was a mass shortage of wigs in the city, and businesses that were in possession of them ramped up the price to make a quick buck, much to the ire of the general public. June of 1977 saw Son of Sam return to his grisly work, when Sal Lupo and his girlfriend Judy Placido Placido. June of 1977 saw Son of Sam return to his grisly work, when Sal Lupo and his girlfriend Judy Placido were shot at close range in a nightclub parking lot just before 3 a.m. Thankfully, both victims survived their wounds, but one of Son of Sam's next victims would not be so lucky. Just 2 days after the 1-year anniversary of the first shootings, Stacy Moskowitz and Robert Violante. Let me look this one up. Violante. Placenta. Jesus Christ. Luciano Violante. Gotta say everything I like it is. That actually wasn't correct, but whatever. Just 2 days after the 1-year anniversary of the first shootings, Stacy Moskowitz and Robert Violante were sitting in the latter's car, parked under a streetlight near a city park in the neighborhood of Bath Beach. They were on the first date, and romance was very much in the air, so much so that they were completely unaware of a man approaching the passenger side of the vehicle. The man fired 4 bullets into the car, striking both Stacy Moskowitz and Robert Violante in the head before fleeing the scene. Robert was blinded in his left eye as a result of the attack, while sadly, Stacy passed away as a result of her injuries. Moskowitz's passing marked the 6th Son of Sam murder in just over a year, and New York City had been driven half mad with fear and suspicion. But it was that same suspicion, along with excellent police work, that finally brought the Son of Sam to justice. Given that 2 murders had occurred in the Pelham Bay area of the Bronx, parking was temporarily forbidden in an area of almost 5 square blocks, and any car that lingered too long was investigated and ticketed. This is how a 1970 4-door yellow Ford Galaxy... Is it Galaxy? Has Joel done push-ups? I have. This is how a 1970 4-door yellow Ford Galaxy came to the police's attention, and they noted with grim interest that it matched the description of the car that was in Donna Loria's neighborhood on the night that she was killed. When the police contacted New York departments... Fuck. Thanks for giving me that Lamborghini and saving all those children from a fire. Yo. No worries, Jensen. I got you, baby girl. BB girl. Sorry about the insurance that you have to pay on all that shit. And sorry that all those children would grow up to be literally Hitler. All of them. When the police contacted New York's Department of Motor Vehicles, they discovered the vehicle was registered as... I see. Fuck. What the hell? It won't stop. Stop! Okay, there we go. When the police contacted New York's Department of Motor Vehicles, they discovered the vehicle was registered... What's Jensen doing? Where is he at? Oh, he just comes in and leaves? What a squawk. Oh, it's not a Galaxy, it's just a Galaxy. Okay, I'll go back and change. This is how a 1970 4-door yellow Ford Galaxy came to the police's attention, and they noted with grim interest that it matched the description of the car that was in Donna Loria's neighborhood on the night that she was killed. When the police contacted New York's Department of Motor Vehicles, they discovered the vehicle was registered to a one Mr. David Berkowitz, who lived up in Yonkers. The next day, police investigated Berkowitz's car, which was parked on the street outside his apartment building. It was then that they spotted a revolver. What the fuck? It's fucking weird. People are weird, man. It was then that they spotted a revolver in the back seat, and after searching the car, they also found a duffel bag filled with ammunition, maps of the crime scenes, and a threatening letter addressed to Inspector Timothy Dowd of the Omega Task Force. After that, it was clear. Berkowitz was the son of Sam. All they needed was an arrest and a confession. But given how dangerously violent the son of Sam was, police decided to wait for Berkowitz to leave the apartment rather than risk a violent encounter in the building's narrow hallway. They also needed to wait until a search warrant for the apartment could be properly obtained, as officers were terrified that their search might be challenged in court and that the infamous killer they'd long searched for would subsequently slip through their fingers. When Berkowitz excited, sorry. Wait, what are you going to pull off of here for a ringtone? Did you ever go back and watch the chat in the stream and realize what the hell we were talking about while you were busy narrating? No, I don't actually ever go back and watch streams outside of Mega tagging me on Twitter, the silly things that I say out of context, which is very entertaining to me. I enjoy it very much. I think she's the only one that does it too. I don't think anybody else makes any clips. But she said there was like hundreds of them, but I'm not sure how to access them. I guess I would have to go to your YouTube channel or something to see them, I assume, or maybe not. I don't know how it works or how clips work on. It would be nice if there was a whole nother, like, I don't know. You're gonna clip me saying baby Goral. Babby Goral. When Berkowitz exited the apartment building at about 10 p.m., one detective John Falatico. What the fuck? A Joel out of context Twitter. That would be fun. Yeah, if there's... I wish there was an easier way to like transfer it to like a playable thing. I mean, I guess YouTube videos do show up, but they don't like... I don't know, you know what I mean? You almost have to go to another website, and it's like another step. It would be nice if Twitter just like played them kind of like they play their normal MP4s or whatever. Would be pretty funny. Falatico. Falatico, okay. Fuck. Joel said if the stream gets over 1K likes, he will stuff Fry like ravioli. True, I did say that. In private, though, in private. You weren't supposed to reveal it. But hopefully that's enough of a motivation. Fry's going to make 1,000 different accounts. When Berkowitz exited the apartment building at about 10 p.m., a detective John Falatico approached the driver's side of his car and pointed his gun close to Berkowitz's temple, all while Detective Sergeant William Gardella pointed his gun from the passenger side. It was then that Berkowitz smiled, looked up at Detective Falatico and said, "Well, you got me." Now that I've got you, I don't know if I should probably for true crime I shouldn't do probably shouldn't do dialogue even though it's got dialogue. It's then that Berkowitz smiled, looked up at Detective Falatico and said, "Well, you got me." "Now that I've got you," Detective Falatico responded. "Who have I got?" "You know," Berkowitz said, and what Falatico remembered as a sweet, almost childlike voice. "No, I don't. Tell me," he replied. Berkowitz, still smiling, simply replied, "My name is David Berkowitz, and I am the son of Sam." Upon searching Berkowitz's apartment, police officers discovered it was covered in satanic graffiti. They also found diaries that he had kept since he was 21 years old, in which Berkowitz had meticulously noted hundreds of arsons that he claimed to have set throughout New York City. Some sources speculate that this number might be over 1,400. Just after 1 a.m. on the morning of August 11th, 1977, Mayor Abraham Beame was visibly relieved as he announced to the media that the people of the city of New York can rest easy because of the fact that the police have captured a man whom they believe to be the son of Sam. All it took was 30 minutes of interrogation before Berkowitz confessed to the shootings and expressed an interest in pleading guilty. Berkowitz then made the outrageous and infamous claim that his neighbor's dog was one of the reasons that he killed, stating that the dog was possessed by an ancient demon and that it demanded the blood of pretty young girls. A few weeks after his arrest, Berkowitz sent a letter to the New York Post in which he repeated his original story of demonic possession, yet toward the end of it, he made an extremely chilling claim. "There are other sons out there," he wrote. "God help the world." Finally, on June 12th of 1978, David Richard Berkowitz was handed 6 consecutive life sentences to be served in Attica Correctional Facility, an upstate New York supermax prison. But that wasn't the end of Berkowitz's story, because as he made it clear, there are other sons of... fuck. Millie with a 5 says, "Hey Joel, thanks for always helping me get through my nights at work. Appreciate all that you do." Thank you, Millie. Thank you for the 5, and I hope you're having a good night at twerk. Thank you, thank you. But that wasn't the end of Berkowitz's story, because as he'd made it clear, there are other sons out there, and once he was locked up, he was determined to prove that he wasn't the only killer that had stalked the streets of New York during that long, hot summer. In the year that followed his incarceration, Berkowitz mailed a book about witchcraft to a police department in North Dakota. He had highlighted several of the book's passages and had written notes in the margins, including Arliss Perry, hunted, stalked, and slain, followed to Arliss Perry, hunted, stalked, and slain, followed to California Stanford University. This was in reference to the murder of 19-year-old Arliss Perry, who had been killed at Stanford on October 12th of 1974. Even more horrifying was the fact that her corpse had been mutilated in the Stanford campus chapel, with Berkowitz claiming that not only was this a deliberate act of Satan worship, but that he had personally communicated with Arliss's killer. Berkowitz went on to claim that he had killed at the behest of a satanic cult that he had joined in the spring of 1975, and stunned the general public when he claimed that he was only guilty of the murders of Donna Loria, Alexander Esau, and Valentina Suriani. He asserted that several other cult members were involved in every incident by planning the events, providing early surveillance of the victims, and acting as lookouts and drivers at the crime scene. Yet when asked to provide the names of his accomplices, he claimed that he wouldn't be able to without putting his family's lives at risk. At one point, Berkowitz seemed to make a very convincing assertion that... Make a convincing assertion, and that was how some victims are had only survived because of... Wait, what? At one point, Berkowitz seemed to make a very convincing assertion, and that was how some victims had only survived because a female cult member was unfamiliar with the powerful recoil of a .44 Bulldog. Oh, okay. Orchid update. It's doing okay. I just feel like I'm still not familiar with what I have to do with it. You know what I mean? Perhaps you could find a much easier... I don't know. I just need a picture. Literally just a picture I put by it. Or just, I don't know, a YouTube video I could watch that just says, do this and do this then, at this time. Because for some reason I'm it's kind of slipped to the back of my mind and I'm not really sure what day we're on, because it's 15 days between waterings and it's just, and I don't know exactly how to go about it. It's too many words. It's just too much for my brain sometime. At this point, Berkowitz seemed to make a very convincing assertion, and that was how some victims had only survived because a female cult member was unfamiliar with the powerful recoil of a .44 Bulldog. This negatively affected her accuracy, which in turn saved the lives of Carl Denaro and Rosemary Keenan. Despite the feasibility of such a claim, Berkowitz's assertions were dismissed by many of those close to the case, one of which was the recipient of one of his letters, Jimmy Breslin. Breslin rejected his story of satanic cult accomplices, stating that when they talked to David Berkowitz that night, he recalled everything step by step by step. The guy has 1,000% recall and that's it. He's the guy and there's nothing else to look at. Former FBI profiler John E. Douglas, who spent hours interviewing Berkowitz, also expressed his skepticism. He argued that David was an introverted loner, incapable of being involved in group activity. NYP psycho. Fuck. I'm supposed to talk to my plants. I understand. I've heard that many a time. I just need, like, literally just a picture. Like, if it's this date, do this. Because I don't know. I feel like I see too many paragraphs and too many people giving their inputs on, like, how to take care of a plant. Can you stretch me out for the gym? Yes. Come close. I will snap you in place. He argued that David was an introverted loner, incapable of being involved in group activity. NYPD psychologist Dr. Harvey Schlossberg also stated that he believes the satanic cult claims are nothing but a fantasy concocted by Berkowitz to absolve himself of the crimes, and lacks any serious credibility. In the decades that followed David Berkowitz's arrest and incarceration, the Son of Sam killings remain some of the most notorious serial murders in world history. Not just for their brutality and insane motives, but for the fear they struck in the hearts of innocent New Yorkers all over the city. Berkowitz himself continues to express remorse on Christian websites, having taken up evangelical Christianity in an attempt to save his Berkowitz himself continues to express remorse on Christian websites, having taken up evangelical Christianity in an attempt to save his damned soul. But if there is anything resembling a just God that casts judgment on us when we die, then I've no doubt whatsoever that David Berkowitz is destined to burn in hell. Mega. With the 10 says, hey, Jules, I was thinking about making a new YouTube account and to use it for clips and give you the password. Then you could make playlists with the clips and get the view clicks and do an out of context twatter. It's a good idea. Yeah, I'll have to think about that. That's a good idea, though. Thank you for the 10.
Hey, listen.
But if there's anything resembling a just God that casts judgment on us when we die, I have no doubt. I don't really like the stories that end where it's like implying like my opinion. You know what I mean? Even though it's like I understand, it's like talking. I don't know, like my opinion. You know, like it's just a weird thing. Like I have no doubt. You know, like talking about an eternal sort of. But I understand he's doing the evangelical Christian thing, so it's like that's like the tie-in or whatever, or like the theme for the ending. Whatever, it fucking doesn't matter. Berkowitz himself continues to express remorse on Christian websites, having taken up evangelical Christianity in an attempt to save his soul. But if there is anything resembling a just God that casts judgment on us when we die, then I've no doubt whatsoever that David Berkowitz is destined to burn in hell. You got sore balls? Unlucky. That's what you get for bringing negative energy earlier. No, I know. It's not. I mean, I just, for some reason, I'm anticipating people, like, chiming in, like, leaving comments, like, actually, that serial murderer, has repented. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's whatever. I don't. I think I read the comments for the first like little bit. Like when a video first comes out, like I'll read the comments for the first like hour or so, and then I stop caring because I can't keep up with how many there are. Sometimes I'll see other ones that pop up that are nice. Just got here. How long do you usually stream? Usually about 3 hours. This was only like 2.5. But I don't know. We kind of bang through these pretty fast, and maybe the length of the stories overall, like sometimes can be different and that kind of thing. Jacob, with the 5 says Joel, I'm honored to be on the Buttersock Cult Council. Absolutely, my friend. What position would you hold within the council? Like, what would you call your position specifically? That's what I'm curious about. Would you be a high priestess? You had a hairless rat and named him Scrow Daddy because he looked like a nutsack. Yeah, those hairless ones are cute.
Hey, listen.
All right, I'm gonna read the outro. High priest tits. Yeah. Ever thought about doing ASMR? I do have an ASMR channel. It's called Let's Read ASMR. I only have like 4 videos on there, but I did actually recently think about doing another video on there where it's called ASMR or opening 1,000 loot boxes in Overwatch ASMR. I was just thinking that'd be funny to do that. I don't know if it would be like slightly ASMR-ish. I mean, me just talking about it. I probably would get bored halfway through because I, pretty much have every item anyways. But I could just ramble about something. Long-time sniper, what? Your mother knits socks that smell. Wait a second. I know that line. I know that line. You're not sneaky. You can't sneak one past me. ASMR would be a lot more baller than you think with your voice. That's true. I think I would bring a lot to the ASMR realm. Jacob with the 2 says, and remember, I'm a dummy. Oh my god, I can't say that. That would be insulting to your High Council president. How dare am I gonna have to kick you off the council for saying something so offensive in my chat? We'll have to gather with the other 8 members and discuss this. No, you keep it. I don't know if we should keep it. I'm not sure if that's a good thing. I don't know. We'll have to ask his wife. I don't know. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks offered for the channel. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear about all these stories and big compilations and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends. And should we get rid of Jacob from the High Council? Jacob with the 5s. Oh, you're just joking. Jeez. Sometimes I don't know. Like, I'm not really good at like picking up on jokes, you know what I mean? So like I apologize, but so I'll remove that last ending there because it was just a joke. Me and the council have talked. Right, should we do it? I don't know if we should. Okay, we're gonna do it. Okay, yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna keep Jacob in the council and we're gonna change the ending. Matthew, you want to be in the High Council? You can't just... You guys are going to have to rock, paper, scissors for it. That's, the official occult manner of going about things. It's from SNL when Richard Pryor was on and they were doing the Exorcist skit. Wait, what thing? And remember, I'll be back. Bang, bang, bang. It's from the true crime. So maybe not. Yeah, right. I'm admitting to being one of the sons of Sam. Also, wasn't there like a Adult Swim show or something with like a dog that was like demonic and like told people to kill stuff. Because I feel like, I wonder if that was based on the Son of Sam stuff. And remember, oh, I could say that. Yeah, remember, your mom knits socks that smell. I'm going to say that, actually. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, your mom knits socks that smell. Boom. The council hath spoken. Oh, shit. You guys are funny. Well, anyways, my friends, we have arrived to the end of the stream. Oh, thank you, Lauren. Of course, of course. But I appreciate you being here. And thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate your support and the fun. I don't know. We have fun here. We have fun here. Yeah, we have fun here. That's what you, like, one of those like managers at Best Buy says, like, yeah, we have fun here. I don't know. Maybe working at Best Buy would be fun. I always wanted to work there when I was younger. That or like GameStop for the video games, bro. Anyways, yes, it is the end of the stream, and I apologize. I know it went by kind of quick. It was a little bit shorter than normal, maybe an hour shorter than normal. Make sure I didn't miss any content here real quick, just to the doobly check. Yeah, I think that's all she wrote, to be honest with you. But thank you again for everything. Thank you for the support. Thanks for being amazing. I'm going to get this edited up, early access over on Patreon. It's only $1 a month there. Either on Patreon or here, members get access to bonus content as well once a month. I'll be working on that soon, so stay tuned for that. I'll keep you posted either on the streams or social media, so follow me over on Twitter at Let's Read Creepy or Instagram at Let's Read.official and TikTok. Yeah, I need to change up my TikTok because I found like one of those Reddit like robot reading voice channels, and it has like 1 million followers, and it's just like so simple with like Minecraft stuff in the background. But I don't know if I'd be able to do something like that. Maybe, maybe it wouldn't be too bad. But anyways, appreciate you guys. The video will be up tomorrow, or today rather, at the usual time, 7 p.m. EST. I hope you have a fun and safe Friday, tomorrow, or today, wherever you are in the world. And I love you. And I'll catch you later. GameStop is a horrid employment opportunity. Okay, yeah, I won't work there anymore. Cancel that. Cancel that. Take my application and put it in the fire. But do I still get $2 for this new game I just bought? No? Okay, 50 cents? Oh, perfect, perfect.